It's time for Money for Lunch, where we feed your brain and your business with supersized portions of business and financial news. Now your host, Bert Martinez.
All righty, welcome back to Money for Lunch. We're going to get our party started here with Jasmina Agrillo Scherr, spiritual pilgrim, yogi mystic, meditation coach, brain recovery counselor, and spiritual healer. She has spent more than 25 years inspiring people the world over, teaching them how to access and use the power of their heart to impact consciousness, health, performance, creativity, relationships. Today, she offers coaching programs on resilience training, transforming anxiety, and heart-based divorce recovery, helping people over the hurdles that she once had to leap. She also offers coaching programs called Our Miracle Heart that transforms people's lives through increasing their consciousness connection to their hearts. Jasmina Agrillo Scherr, welcome to Money for Lunch.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful introduction. In honor, really, of the amazing soul journey every single one of us are on, and it unfolds in a unique way, our gifts and talents and service to others as well. So thank you.
You bet. Well, you know what? I'm excited to talk about, to have you as guests here and talk about your book. The book is called Mirror of My Soul. And so I want to ask you this. I ask this of all my authors. Why write this book? What was happening? What was the inspiration that made you want to go, yes, I need to write this book?
We all have a story inside us. And at the time I wrote that book, I was at a crossroads in my life. I wanted to look back in my life in wholeness. I wanted to pull in the threads of my soul in my story, who I am, what my purpose is, what do I do now? Pull in all those threads into a wholeness so that I could be, reborn in what it's time for me to do now in my life. What happens is that it started to come out of me because this was the time for it too. So there's such a thing as divine timing when it relates to our book as well. But not just our book, but in our life. I started having experiences waking up like at 3 a.m. and sentences started coming through from certain times in my life, and then I would have paragraphs. It started happening more and more during the day, and I had other creative projects I was working on, and they wouldn't go through. Whatever I did with reaching for wouldn't manifest, but this book started coming through me. So luckily, when we ask, we receive. It's a spiritual law. I asked for help. This book helped me write it. I had never written a book before. So as the story goes, eventually after me Googling and making different contacts, thinking I'd have a ghostwriter do the book, a friend happened to call, just a synchronicity. She mentioned this man called Tom Burt, who is an author whisperer. I got in touch with him, and he right away said, now's the time. I'm going to help you channel this book. You have the ability to do this. So I went through his process. I wrote the book very quickly, and however, it did take me from 2012, about a year and a half, because this was something that, when we relate to our spirit, we can ask why. We can be human. I was saying I'm impatient now. I want to get this book out now, and what the answer I got back was that you're still living it. So I can be an impatient person, and I would go back and forth through that whole process. But the book, when it was time for it to end, it shut itself off just like a water faucet. You turn the handle, it's gone. It's done, and I knew it. So it was quite an experience for me to be so, having to live with the uncertainty. Another big role that played out for me in writing my spiritual miracle journey memoir was that I started listening to music that appealed to me way back since I was a girl. And Bruce Springsteen. I was rocking to Bruce Springsteen, you know, and reliving what it was like to be alive in that time, but from the adult, from the wisdom place, so that what came through me were those threads that were specific to the message of my writing the memoir, which is about the soul journey to find our resilience, who we really are, and our unique gifts throughout that journey, the blessings, the lessons we learned. Yes.
You know, one of the things that I got out of that, one of my takeaways, and I want to emphasize this with our audience, is here you are, you're a coach, and
yes.
you went out and you found somebody to coach you. And I think this to me is very indicative of successful people. Here you are, you're a coach yourself, so what do? You reach out to get a coach to help you in an area that you needed coaching in, right? So you can do faster, because if you wouldn't have gotten that coach, instead of taking a year and a half to write a book, which is not necessarily a long time for a book, some people take 2 or 3, it got done that much quicker. You didn't, and so that's what a lot of times coaching helps us do, is coaches help us get the stuff done quicker. So, I just wanted to point that out, because a lot of people sometimes, what's the word I'm looking for, or the thought that I'm trying to put forth here, sometimes a lot of people hear the word coaching and they just think sometimes that, I guess for lack of a better term, it's a fad or something like that. But
yeah,
it's so funny, because I get a chance to interview a lot of consultants and coaches and tons of successful people, and more times than not, these people are getting coaches in areas that they need to develop speed and accuracy, and that's what coaching's all about.
Yes. We do not do this alone. What goes around comes around. But I think we have this, it's in our psyche that we have to do it ourselves,
Right.
We have to prove ourselves. And prove ourselves. I almost said selves. That's really good. But, yeah, we have this, mentality. But what really is going to save all of us is the connection that we get help and support, and we put that out again too. So, we're in service, and we take and we receive, and we give out. So it's like a receiving and then giving out. It's a cycle. I would not be where I am today without help. Absolutely, it would not be possible for me to experience the healing and the grace to be able to achieve my goals without coaching. Yes. So
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this. I want to get your thoughts on this. Let's talk about people's dreams for a little bit. One of the things that you talked about is, here you are, you were awoken at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and this information was pouring out of you. So you had, almost pushing you forward, right? So let's talk about people's dreams. Do you think that as society goes as a whole, we don't pay enough attention to our dreams?
Why that is so is because we are living such an extroverted life. We really are called to balance that out, to go within ourselves, to make our own intuitive connection. And that's why that happens. Because when we make the intuitive connection, I can help folks very quickly do that through the heart, because all my training with different teachers over my lifetime, that's the fastest way is through the heart, and science does back that up through the research of the Institute of Heart Math. So that said, to make that connection.
So let me interrupt you. Okay, if you say the heart, you're talking about emotionally, right? And if we make that emotional connection, if we feel it in our heart, we feel it in our gut, then we're going to be able to change that much quicker.
Yes, because the science is very complex. So I'm really going to simplify this. I'm not a scientist, coach. I'm a coach. When we feel a positive emotion, the heart picks that up independently of the brain and brings it into the whole physiology communicates back through the autonomic nervous system into the brain. So whatever dream we have, we've got to make it real in the emotional world for us, in the emotional experience. However, I said positive emotions, we could substitute the word spiritual frequency, spiritual emotions, one and the same, because they originate first within the heart. So the brain, we perceive reality going on at the inner level and out in our environment that's affecting us, and the brain has reactions to that, feeds that into the system, and then the heart reacts. Yeah, that's real simplified explanation.
Well, that's okay, so because, I think to me that works. And really, look, again, back to, what do you call it, what a consultant or what a coach does or what an expert does is that they take something that's complex and they make it simple for everybody to use or understand. I mean, this is going to sound, this is my interpretation. Look, a hamburger, figure out a hamburger. It's not that hard. But it has multiple moving parts. You have the buns, you have the condiments, you have the meat, you have, the vegetables. Okay. Now, not that it's super complicated, but it is something that has multiple moving parts and it takes time. Well, now, because of whatever technology and whatever 50 years ago, wherever, or maybe it's 70 years ago, McDonald's simplified it for America, right? And so all of a sudden the fast food industry was born. They took something that was kind of complicated back then and they simplified it. And so that to me is what a good service or expert or consultant or coach does, right? They take something that's complicated, that has multiple moving parts, and they make it easy for the rest of us to utilize. Go ahead.
Yes. As order out of chaos. Balance.
Order out of chaos. Ooh, yeah. I love that. Yes.
Ooh,
all right. So let's talk about this. In the intro, I talked about the fact that you have used your own personal story, that you help people, deal with resilience and transforming anxiety and heart-based divorced recovery. I love that. And this is some of the hurdles that you have had to leap through. And so talk a little bit about your background. How did you get from where you were to being this meditation coach, this recovery counselor, if you will, the spiritual healer? Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Okay. I had to go through what I went through as part of my work, it's soul's work in the world and expressing myself. So it was essential that I go through that so that I can be in service to others. And also we all have that spark inside us that knows who we are and where we're going, and so that is always there, and I felt that guiding me. So that is a gift that I have. We all have that innate intelligence. Or I want to call heart intelligence, since we're talking about the heart. Yes.
And something else I want to point out here, what you just stated, again, I want to emphasize this. This is what you had to go through. A lot of us try to avoid doing the tough work. And sometimes the tough work shows up as an obstacle. Maybe it is a divorce or a death or a betrayal, a business that goes bankrupt, whatever that obstacle is, that challenge. Sometimes we have to go through it. Some of the most successful people I have ever met have also recovered from some horrible circumstances. I fond of a different name, Bill Bartman. Bill Bartman at one point had the life that everybody would want. 4,000 people company, private jet, 20 acre estate. Just life was great. And because of the betrayal, he ended up losing all that. And then it got worse, where he ended up having to go to. He was charged with criminal activity, and even and he went through years of struggle, and it was a horrible thing for him. Now, he came out of that. He was cleared of all charges, but unfortunately, it was something that he had to go through. It was something that taught him many lessons, and now he's rebuilding that company. And he's stronger for it. And he'll tell you that even though, he would not want to, it's not something that you it's not something that you hope for, but he learned so much from it. It made him such a much better person, a much better husband, a much better CEO. Sometimes we have to go through crap. It's just the way life is up.
Yes. And when you talk about his story, I had to recover from a very devastating, debilitating brain tumor surgery back in 2001. It's quite a while ago, and I literally had to do everything over, including walking again. I remember that. But yet that spirit inside me, it opened me up. It cracked me open. So the work I'm doing today with the heart, I was experiencing my heart benefiting me then, helping the connection, the spiritual connection through the heart, helping me then. It really opened me. Intuitively, I had a near-death experience throughout that, and so I was living in two worlds, really out in the quantum reality, the spiritual reality, infusing me with light to help me rebuild my life in every single way, including financially. But it was an amazing period. And I truly, from having lived through these experiences, and I'm sure that person you're talking about and within yourself as well, that when we need to be cracked open sometimes,
Yes.
And when we are, more light can come in, more power that we can draw upon to empower ourselves.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
But
hey, Jasmina, I'm sorry, but we're out of time, and we didn't get a chance to talk about a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, and that's my fault. My ADD kicked in. But what I'd love to do is invite you back and talk more, and really get to a deeper talk about, resiliency and inner strength. Jasmina Agrillo Scherr, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah. Tell them to come to my site.
Okay. And your site, by the way, is Jasmina Agrillo Scherr, S-C-H-E-R, that's Scherr, S-C-H-E-R, JasminaAgrilloScherr.com. Her book is there, Mirror of My Soul, Sanctum of My Heart. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah. Guys, we're off finding great stuff there by Jasmina about sometimes we have to go through crap. It's just the way it is. And I'm just like you. I want to avoid it. But if you look back at your life, some of the best stuff has come from some of the worst ordeals, right? Remember, you were created to succeed.
Tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch, and check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.